Walt Disney World is always special, but even more so at Christmas time. Here's 6 of my favorite things from Walt Disney World at Christmas. There are so many things to see and do at Walt Disney World, and at Christmas, Disney really pulls out all the stops and adds in all sorts of specials and extras and wonderful things. They decorate the resort hotels, they decorate in the parks, they create all sorts of extra events and specials. There's just so much to see and do, and how do you narrow it down? Well, the 5 years that I worked there, my family and I, we spent a good amount of time in the parks, and we definitely had some favorites that we loved to do. Some things that actually kind of became a family tradition while we were there. So here's 6 of our favorites. Now, I do want to give you a disclaimer right off the bat. There's one thing that you're going to notice that is missing from this list, and that is Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. That's right, it's not on the list, and it's not there for one very simple reason. We never got to attend. I worked at it a few times as a photographer, but for me it was pretty much a normal working shift, and since we never got to attend it, well, we didn't really have any experience that way to be able to tell you about it, and so I can't really put it on the list. So that's why it's not there. Now, on to 6 of our favorites. Number 1, the characters. Many of the characters will actually put on special outfits and costumes just for Christmas time. There are some characters that will come out during that time that don't come out any other time. The characters will wear different costumes during Christmas than they do any other time of the year. Some characters come out that you don't get to see any other time of the year. Back when I worked there, at the back of Fantasyland, there was an area that they would set up as the Christmas tree lot. Donald would come out in a special woodcutter's outfit. The Chipmunks would come out wearing scarves and Christmas wear. But you would also see Scrooge McDuck come out there. He was kind of a rare character to meet, but he was there during Christmas. When we got to meet with Pooh and Tigger and them down at Pooh's Landing at Animal Kingdom, for instance. Again, they were all wearing holiday outfits with the scarves and hats, and it just made it extra special. And so it was a lot of fun to be able to see the different outfits and things that the characters would wear to celebrate the holiday season. And it made for kind of a fun deal to see what characters you could catch during that month or so that you wouldn't be able to see any other time of the year. We love to be able to spend time with the characters during a normal time, but during the holidays, it just became something extra, something special. Number 2, Christmas Around the World. This is something held over at Epcot, where for each of the different country pavilions, they all bring out a storyteller. They create a little stage for each one, and the storytellers come out and tell how they celebrate the holidays. Over at Mexico, it's the 3 Kings, the Tres Reyes, and they'll come out and tell the story of looking for the newborn king. Over at Germany, you would have a lady come out who would tell the story of the Nutcracker as well as the pickle on the tree, and then you'd actually have a huge giant Nutcracker come walking out and you could take your picture with them. Over in the United Kingdom, you'd have Father Christmas who would come out and tell some of the stories of their traditions. In France, it was Père Noël who would tell the stories of their traditions in France. In Canada, you'd have this big woodcutter come out and he would begin telling the story of how Canadians celebrate Christmas, and as he's gradually kind of changing his outfit, next thing you know, you're standing there looking at Santa Claus. And of course, the real Santa Claus is over at the American Experience meeting all the kids. But even the countries that didn't necessarily celebrate Christmas would have storytellers come out. Over in Morocco, for example, they would have people who would tell the story of Ramadan. In China, it was the story of the Monkey King. And it just made for a really neat experience to be able to walk around all the different country pavilions and catch the storytellers telling their stories. That was something that we did every year that we were there. It just didn't seem like Christmas after a little while if we hadn't done that. Number 3, the giant gingerbread houses. Disney actually builds 2 life-size, huge gingerbread houses. One you can see over at Epcot in the American Experience. They actually build it inside the little restaurant there, and it has a window on the outside where you can buy hot chocolate and gingerbread cookies and other things. It's just really neat when you go up and, maybe you're eating a hamburger at the restaurant, and here's this giant gingerbread house there. They also build another one over at the Grand Floridian, right in the middle of the lobby. And again, that one became kind of a spot that we'd have to stop at every year, and we got family pictures, and if we had family or friends that were in from out of town during the time, we made sure we took them over there and got pictures of them. Just a really neat experience. Now again, Disney decorates all of the resort hotels during Christmas. And you'll see giant chocolate carousels, for example, at the boardwalk, and a number of other different things. But for us, the giant gingerbread houses were the must-see, must-do at the resorts. Number 4. This one isn't there anymore, but it was such a huge thing and one of our favorites, and that was the Osborn Lights at Disney MGM or Disney Hollywood Studios. They actually took this whole section of the backlot area, where it was designed to look like San Francisco and New York and Chicago. They covered the whole thing with millions of lights, which that in itself was impressive. But then they took all the lights and they synchronized it to music, and the lights would dance and shift, and there were lights everywhere. And then to make it even better, they'd set up snow machines. That's right, it would snow in Florida. Okay, it was giant soap bubbles. But still, one of the neatest things for me was, as a photographer, I basically spent 5 years working in the Osborn Lights. And so we would be down there, and when the lights were up, we would take pictures, and then when they would dim as they got ready for a light, we'd kind of pause and tell our guests, okay, wait just a minute till they come back up, and then we start shooting again. Just had a lot of fun. Now, there is sort of a resurrection of them, although it's really not. Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri has added this huge thing that they call Christmas in Midtown. And it's got over 1 million lights, I think it's closer to 1.5 million in this one narrow area, and it is almost as bright as the Osborn Lights were. It's not quite as high, because it doesn't have the huge sets to work with. They don't have the dancing lights and the music there. But they have a huge number of lights, and with LEDs, it's incredibly bright. It's a wonderful tribute. They are not the same lights. Silver Dollar City built everything in-house. There's a couple things that they modeled on the Osborn Lights, but there's a whole lot that's unique to Silver Dollar City. So if you see some rumor that they moved the Osborn Lights to Branson, no, they didn't. Not the same ones. But still a really neat place to go see lights, and if you're missing the Osborn Lights, it's a great place to go. Number 5, the Christmas Parade at Magic Kingdom. This was actually something that my kids and I started doing every year. We would go on Christmas Eve. My wife typically would either need a day to finish shopping or wrapping or just a day to rest, because she's a teacher and was exhausted at that point. And so I would usually take the kids. Somehow I managed to get Christmas Eve off every year. I think I worked almost every Christmas I was there at Disney, but I managed to get Christmas Eve off. And so it kind of became a little tradition for me to take the kids, deal with the huge crowds in the park, and we didn't get to do much, but our highlight was the Christmas parade. Just a fantastic parade. I still love the March of the Toy Soldiers, and I've actually got a little clip where you can briefly see them. It's not great quality, sorry. But we had a great time watching the parade every year. It's just a neat, unique celebration of the holidays. And again, it was another spot where you could see characters that otherwise would never come out, such as Christopher Robin and Kanga and Roo, who you never got to see otherwise. And so that was one of our highlights. It was something that we tried to do every time that we could. Number 6, the Candlelight Processional at Epcot. This was far and away our favorite thing to do at Disney during Christmas time. What the Candlelight Processional is they actually create a choir of cast members, as well as bring in choirs from high schools around the area, and they put on this huge concert. They've got a full symphony orchestra. Some people who are professional and do this every year and have done it for years. And then they will bring in outside narrators. And these may be actors and actresses and singers and movie stars and a big variety of different people. And what they do is they actually open up the Bible and they begin to read the Christmas story. And they'll read a few lines, and then you'll have a big, huge song, and then they'll read a few more lines, and then another huge song, and it is just an incredible production. It was easily the highlight of our Christmas at Disney. Now, what was always funny, we would wait an hour or more to be able to get into it sometimes, because there was such a huge demand. And then they would start the show, and people would start to read the Bible, and then you would always see a few people that would suddenly get up and go, "Oh, they're reading the Bible! I can't be here for this!" And then go walking out. Within the first 5-10 minutes of the show, you're kind of going, hello? Were you not paying attention? You know, it is Christmas. But the show itself was just incredible. Well worth the wait. So that was 6 of our favorite things at Walt Disney World during Christmas time. Do you have one? I'd love to hear it as well. Be sure to share it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share the video. And hey, if you want to be able to communicate a little bit more, be sure to check out my Facebook page as well as my Reddit. You can see the links down in the description. And hey, just for Christmas as well, I've actually got a line of merchandise. You'll find that link in the description below, and that'll take you to the store. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And thank you to my patrons. I so appreciate you and your support. I've got the best patrons and viewers in the world. If you want to know more about becoming a patron and getting a couple extra perks, like sometimes being able to see my videos early, again, be sure to check out that link down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your support. Number 1. Is that moving or not? I can't tell if my light's moving. Better break it. Break it. Brace it. Ooh. Okay. I'm getting all gummed up. Silver dollars. Can't even get that. Number 1. Number 6. I can't count. Number 6.